All right, everyone, welcome back. Here we are in the loser brackets final for the Arail Stormgate qualifiers. And this series is a best of 3, and it's going to be featuring in the blue here, WWD. Whoa. And his opponent, playing the Vanguard faction in the red, this is Corsair. And we've seen a lot of Vanguard versus Celestial in this tournament so far, at least in the branch that I've been looking at. But I don't think these two played in the winner's bracket. I think they're on different branches and they arrived here through different paths. So it could be either game here. Either one's game, sorry. I'm not sure who has the upper hand between the two of them. Maybe they meet each other on ladder, etc. Maybe they know. But I'm not sure. WWD, pretty normal opening, expanding out here, grabbing a chamber. And Rax back home for Corsair, up on the high ground. And I have watched a lot of Corsair games today, and this is pretty normal opening for him in this matchup. His first Rax usually on the high ground, then maybe he'll put a couple more on the low ground out front here, depending on what kind of map he's on. We're on the map Stormwatch, and I think this is my first cast of Stormwatch today. It might be my first cast of Stormwatch ever. This is an interesting one. Okay, you got a base here. Oh, it does have Therium. Potential fourth. Fifth base. Weird, awkward out in the corner base. Can you even build on that? That's weird. Maybe you have to build on either side. So the scouts are out scouting. What are they scouting for? Some kind of ninja base, maybe? Maybe they're just hanging out somewhere where they're not going to be found for the moment. Maybe they're looking for proxies. Not sure, but they went for a ride. They did get a little run around. They got to see what was going on up here for WWD. He's up to 3 arc ships. That suggests to me that he's probably planning for a longer macro game. Not 100% sure. Well,
Dimensional rift detected. A Stormgate will activate soon.
Even the positioning of these units kind of suggests that this is a little more defensive. That's like if any dog comes running in here, he wants to get lots of shots off on it right away. But now, Stormgate's on the field.
A Stormgate has appeared.
The point of the Stormgate is get the players out to try and contest something, and that's exactly what's happening right now.
Enemy forces have begun to secure a Stormgate. Enemy forces have begun to secure a Stormgate.
A little bit of tug of war there. WWD content to try and win. But as the dogs and the exos get on there, it wants to chase them off. I think, yeah, there we go. Break off a small group. So you still always have some Argents firing on the Stormgate. You only need a smaller group to chase the dogs back. And if you can chase the dogs back, I think you win the tug of war. You might win the tug of war no matter, because you might just have higher DPS. Actually, it's looking pretty even. It's looking pretty even. That little blue bar is not moving very far. And now it's actually Corsair who's going to come out on top as WWD pulls back and says he doesn't want to contest that any further. Interesting choice. Now, my little bit of analysis there is maybe it's because WWD has been playing a little bit more eco build and is just thinking, hey, I don't really want to lose those units and then end up having a force on my front door that I can't defend. So trying to preserve all the units he has, moves back and lets the Stormgate go to Corsair. But that also gives Corsair the favorite, which makes this push, you know, a little bit tougher. So We'll see. The push hasn't exactly materialized yet, but it's looping around to the side. And WWD using that cool little line all your dudes up in a row command. And it kind of worked to his advantage. He's got a nice little concave, but there's a lot of exos coming in here. Bayron in the back doing a pretty good job of keeping some of them alive. Some of the exos are unfortunately firing the arc ship, and you want them on top of everything. There is an Animancer, and they're just chasing the Animancer down. But whoa, she leaves a Dark Prophecy first, and that murders a lot of exos in there. Huge leg spikes for me. Apologies to everyone there. And here we go. That looks like that was just torn apart. That was Corsair just ripping apart all the army here. Few Argents come out trying to get something done, but we just see robot blood everywhere. The boys get pulled, but the boys are going down with a GG from WWD. Right, welcome back. Game number 2 between these two. It's going to be Corsair once again in the blue. Playing Vanguard. Some pretty good play last game with the Exos. And once again, his opponent in the red, playing Celestials. They are WWD. Playing on Sector 9 again here. I think I just realized something, that the color of these patterns down below here. Oh no, they are the power band. Okay, it is still reflecting power. But is this power? I know there's been some change because this 200 doesn't mean anything anymore. But that must be power because we just saw this node come online. And then as we saw the chamber, it went down. So yeah, that must be... It must still be reflecting your power levels, the redness and the yellow or the green. So we're at yellow power. Yeah. Yes, okay. Figuring out how this game works after a year of casting it, you know? That's how it is sometimes. So double chamber here after double arc ship for WWD. Maybe that's why he's named that, you know? He likes the double build. In comes Corsair's first scouting unit, his scout. Does a little peek around the side there, and then runs right by, sees everything. Grace, or the Judicator, comes online just 1 second too late to get any pot shots off. And the first Argent's out, doing a little patrol there. And it's more racks, plus the BK coming online over here. And third arc ship, I think I see on the production tab, yes. As well as quick draw hustle. Now Corsair did well with those exos last game, so there's no surprise that he's gonna go for that again. Our first exo's on the way, another rack's on the way, 4 exos on the way, and it's Argent's up here for WWD.
A Stormgate will activate soon.
And out march the Argents. They're gonna try and contest. Haru, says the howl of the Night Wolf. That's what tells you the Stormgate's coming online. If you weren't paying attention to the Stormgate lady, who is really what tells you that the Stormgate's coming online. This early Stormgate contest between the Exos and Scouts and the Argents, so far it feels like the Argents kind of have the advantage there. And we've seen all the Scouts go down now. But we'll see, because the Exos they hit hard. And they're just a tad more maneuverable than the Argents. But we're tugging on the Stormgate right now. There we go. A couple more Exos show up, so Corsair feels strong enough to push forward. But one Exo goes down, and once again, WWD pulls back. We did see that last game. So maybe I was wrong about the Argents having the advantage. It's just how many Exos do you have? You can get, once you get that number high enough, the Argents want to pull back. We do have the Creeping Horror here, which is going to make it harder for the Argents to move back, which means these Exos might... Ooh, couple shots from the Judicators. Those ones are still morphing. They may have been morphed back into something else. One of them gets picked off. There are Exos going down here, which is what WWD needs to try and mount a defense. Unfortunately, a lot of Argents going down there, and a GG from WWD in game number 2.